Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the PSBlue Podcast, available everywhere. This is episode 27. I'm joined again by my wonderful co-host, Adonis. How are we doing today?
We are doing absolutely great. I'm looking forward to the week. I'm looking forward to the podcast, and let's get into some of these video games, man.
I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. It's been a while since we last recorded, and I've been looking forward to this since we woke up this morning. We're dealing with some scheduling changes, let's just say, and I think we're going to finally, I know I said this a million times, but I think we're finally going to get back onto a weekly recording basis. We got a lot to catch up on. Some of these topics are a little bit dated at this point, maybe a couple months dated because I had it in the chamber ready to go. But I mean, it's all interesting stuff and it's all, exciting things to really get into. What are you playing? Are you playing anything that we need to know about since we last spoke?
I've always been a devout member of the, Mortal Kombat game, even though I had some harsh words for the game. We have had some time since we've done the episode. So NetherRealm Studios has decided to listen to us a little bit. And we did get a patch for the game. We had some new character releases. Ermac is out, Error Macro, which if you know any lore of the Mortal Kombat game, it was a error code that eventually turned into a character. So the jury's still out on the Mortal Kombat game, but I feel a lot better about Mortal Kombat 1, so I've been playing that. In anticipation for the Elden Ring DLC, I played a little bit of Elden Ring the other day.
Nice.
Restored my love for the game, and that's really it.
Cool. I actually did know the Ermac lore, believe it or not, even though I'm not a fighting game aficionado. I knew about Ermac and all that. Mortal Kombat 3, cool. Right?
Yeah, that's cool.
See?
I didn't know you knew that.
Yeah, because I played 1, 2, and 3. Those were like my games. But that's not what I was playing since we last spoke. I've been playing, obviously, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I have about 70 hours in it, and I'm still not even close to beating it. I'm trying to do everything. That game is fantastic. Easily a Game of the Year contender for me. Another Crab's Treasure. We'll talk about that in a minute. Another Souls game. And some Balatro, which is... Maybe we'll talk about Balatro next week, but it's a game I really want to talk about and have a talking point on. So I'll just kind of leave that there. But it's addicting. It's great. And just the story of Balatro and how that guy put it out there is really cool. And we'll probably talk about that next week. No quote of the week because it's been too long. So let's just dive right in. Today's topics include Hogwarts Legacy, Borderlands the movie, Helldivers 2 controversy, Another Crab's Treasure, and Shadow of the Erdtree. I left that for last because I feel like that's going to be our big headliner topic. I think we're going to have a lot to say about that DLC. Let's start with Hogwarts Legacy, though. So why are we talking about Hogwarts Legacy over a year after this game came out? I will tell you why. According to VideoGamesChronicle.com, Hogwarts Legacy has officially cleared Zelda as 2023's best-selling game worldwide. Now, it's multi-platform. That might have something to do with it. But after Nintendo released its sales numbers or estimate of their sales numbers for the new Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom, it was clear that according to those numbers released, Hogwarts Legacy had sold more than it. Why is this a big deal? It's a Warner Brothers game. It's not a game, by a studio or publisher that we typically see as the number one all-time sales company. Warner Brothers is much more known for their movies. Again, this is a licensed game from a movie franchise that started as a book. I don't think I need to tell you guys this. We're all aware of Harry Potter, but this is a very interesting quote-unquote best-selling game because there was a lot of controversy behind it as well, and J.K. Rowling specifically, the creator of the Harry Potter series. But yeah, I want to hear how you feel about this game being as popular as it was and its inevitable sequel. I played it, I beat it, I loved it. I thought it was great. All the controversy aside, just the game in and of itself in a vacuum, it was a great game, and it really utilized the well-known parts of the Harry Potter universe as well as the more obscure parts of that universe. And I thought that was just brilliant. And I think a video game format is a very smart idea to explore a big big franchise slash IP like Harry Potter. But I'm going to give you the floor, Adonis.
A couple of things. First, shout out to Warner Brothers, their studio, their testers, their designers, their programmers. It is so hard, as we've mentioned in previous episodes, to kind of make a game the right way. And it's not only in the realm of games, but since this is a gaming podcast, we'll keep it in the realm of games. It's so hard to make a game correctly, especially with like a nostalgic title like Hogwarts, Harry Potter, that kind of universe. Once they knocked it out of the park, once we got the trailer at E3, everyone is excited. Then it's a no-brainer. I'm black. Okay? I'm black. J.K. Rowling in that series, the book series had everybody in a massive, massive chokehold. I read the books. You know, it was seen early on as, oh man, if you read the books, you were a nerd, but secretly we read them. We read them. That's just what we did. So it wasn't just a niche group of people that were reading and interacting and loving these books. So once Warner Brothers did their job in recreating a game that held true to the original content and then gave you a great gaming experience, once they did that, the sky was the ceiling for that game. I mean, absolutely beautiful game, breathtaking. The movesets, the magic, it did everything right, and the sales data proves that.
Yeah, did you play Hogwarts Legacy?
Come on, man. What are you doing? Of course I did. I loved
But we never talked about it.
I mean, I was on my broomstick out there surfing.
Did you beat it?
No.
Did you beat it? No.
I put like 40 hours into the game.
See, here's the thing though. Not to interrupt you, but it doesn't matter if you beat it because that's not the point in my opinion. Like, yeah, the campaign was great, the story mode was great, and I did beat it, but the point of the game is to, like you said, get on that broomstick and fly around. That's the best part of the game. The only game that has better, I think, open world traversal is Spider-Man. But other than that, I mean, riding around on a broomstick or a griffin, a mount that you get later, it's just like, oh my God.
I felt like Harry Potter.
Cool. Yeah. And that, like I said, that's the point of the game for me. Not so much the story mode. So I don't have any issue with you not completing the story mode. It is good. It is worth revisiting, I would say. But anyway, continue.
It's like, I really didn't have much more to say about it. A beautiful, breathtaking game. It did its job. Like I said, it can, contender for game of the year. The sales data just proves that this game hit the mark. And to that upcoming sequel, if they decide to do it, which, I mean, come on, it beat Zelda. So it's definitely going to have a sequel.
It's
inevitable. Warner Brothers is all about the money. They're all about the profit. They did a great job. I'm not saying they're not here for the gamers and providing the best gaming experience possible. But with that kind of revenue from a game like this, a sequel is a no-brainer. And I'm looking forward to it. And I obviously be picking it up in the near future.
Yeah. I completely agree. One point of clarification. Warner Brothers is the publisher of the game, obviously, and they own or somewhat own the rights to the licensing of Harry Potter, obviously. Do you know what else Avalanche made?
What?
They made some Mortal Kombat games, some remakes or some secondary editions of, like, they made Mortal Kombat Trilogy, or they worked on Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. I've never even heard of that. Oh God,
that one's very near and dear to my. Oh man, Sub-Zero Mythologies is one of the most underrated games of all time.
Never even heard of it. Oh
Lord
my God,
Jesus!
Wow, I struck a chord with Adonis. There, I didn't. He went, whoa.
Sub-Zero Mythologies is such a slept-on game. Easily, we can revisit our top 5. Easily in my top 5.
Yeah,
top
this
3.
is. Oh wow. Oh geez.
Avalanche, I love you. Go ahead, Avalanche. I love you.
Yeah. So they made the N64 version, and Midway made the PlayStation version. Just a quick research on Wikipedia. Very reliable source, as we all know. Anyway, they've made a lot of licensed games in the past. They've made Rugrats games, Toy Story games. They more recently made the Disney Infinity games. So they have a lot of experience with the licensed game subgenre, if you want to call it that. However, I think Hogwarts Legacy is far and away the biggest undertaking that this developer has ever had. And I think they crushed it. Say what you want about the different issues that outside of the Hogwarts Legacy, the video game, but the Harry Potter franchise, that I'm not going to touch. If we're just looking at the video game, I think that everything they set out to do, they absolutely knocked it out of the park. And I think that, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think that is, very important and goes a long way in face of controversy like that. And you got to remember, it's not just J.K. Rowling that created this universe. Like, yes, she created this universe, but there's so many other people, filmmakers and writers and, artists that helped flesh out the world. So that's all I'll really say regarding the Hogwarts Legacy controversy. But do you have anything else? Any more comments on this one?
No, just Omega, congrats to Avalanche for such a successful game, and I'm looking forward to the sequel and other games that they make. If they want to remaster Sub-Zero Mythologies,
No.
I would never hold them.
I would say I will give you 500 to 1 odds that's not going to happen.
I know it's not, but it hurt me. It hurt me they won't do it, but hey, I could hope and wish for it.
Here's ready for this transition? Here's the flip side. We're not turning a movie into a video game. We're turning a video game into a movie. Ooh.
Borderlands.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Borderlands, the movie. That's the movie I've been waiting for my entire life.
Really?
No.
I was like, what?
No. Big sarcasm there. I have talked about it on this channel before. I am kind of mixed on these video game movies. I think that going the other way is like the Hogwarts way from movie to video game is a lot better, because I think that, I don't know. I don't want to go off on a whole tangent, but I just think, like, look at Avatar. Kind of flat and boring gameplay in some respects. I didn't play the whole thing, but it's just kind of what's the word? Far Cry.
Mm-hmm.
In Pandora World. But you have this whole IP that you can flesh out. Now, a movie format is a 1 hour and 30-minute tightly packed story sort of a thing that you need to now take. It's like squeezing all this story and lore and all these things that was made for something that was supposed to last between 20 and 40 hours. You have to squeeze it into an hour and a half. I don't know. That's how I feel about going this way. But for those of you that don't know, they're making a Borderlands movie. There was a trailer that came out a couple months ago. It comes out in August. It has Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Edgar Ramirez, and others in it. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm mixed. Adonis, what are your thoughts?
I will completely agree with you on when you're turning major animation shows, when you're turning major video games into movies. That's my one gripe, is that, producers, directors, pretty much everybody that falls in that movie making process, they try to take so much content and just condense it and go, we're going to take, I don't know, if it's a show and it has 8 seasons, we're going to take these 8 seasons and we're going to put it into 2 6-episode seasons. It's like, we definitely want it from you. We're definitely looking forward to it, but do it justice and respect the content. Don't cut out anything. Don't change it to, fill a timeline. And I think that's the one, I use the term loosely, problem that major producing studios have, is that they try to condense their content. They try to condense the information, what's relevant. Other than that, I have no problems. I think this movie will be fun. The game was fun. The movie looks fun. They went out in the casting world and got guys like Kevin Hart, Jack Black, who are very near and dear to our heart. Jack Black is just a national treasure. So I'm hoping, in terms of the acting chemistry they can have on camera, that it works and it's naturally and organically funny. If that's the case, then we have nothing to be worried about. We can all look forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see if they do the video game franchise some justice in this movie.
Yeah, but I mean, just to add to what you were saying about condensing a video game into a movie, we gotta take a step further back and look at development, right? So before the video game even becomes a thing, you have writers that are writing for that form factor. You know, a video game story arc is written in that way, in a purposeful way. How can we make the story last 20 plus hours, right? So it lends itself to a video game because that's the way the writers intended it. Now, media is becoming more and more mixed as technology advances. You know, you have movies, TV shows, TikToks, YouTube series, podcasts, everything. It's becoming this amalgamation, right? So a movie is not just a movie anymore. A movie could spin off into a series. A movie could spin off into a video game. A video game could spin off into a movie, you know? It's just about having a universe that is inherently interesting. And I think that I agree with you. Borderlands has that universe that is inherently interesting. My biggest criticism with this movie, just based on the trailer I've seen, is they are taking all the characters from the video games and crunching them into this hour and 30-minute movie. I think they should have just taken the universe, kind of like Star Wars does. And I'm not all caught up on all their series, but take the universe and find an original story, or explore like a tertiary character that we haven't seen a lot of yet, and turn that into a movie. Have more of a focus, have more specificness to your content. That's all. That's really all I'll say. I think that the Borderlands universe is inherently interesting enough to warrant a movie. I just think that their approach is not where I would have kind of taken it. But I see the mass appeal. Obviously, you got people, the nostalgia factors through the roof with this. You got Mad Moxie and all these original characters from the original game, Claptrap and all this stuff, like Tiny Tina. I get it. But that's really all I have left to say about that. Anything else?
Yeah, it's just really important to stay on the like source material, which is why I think when they're Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, or major production studios, when they get these projects, I look for the original writers to be included in the process.
Okay, but you disagree with me, it sounds like don't do that offshoot. Stick to the original source material. Tell the original story that the video game told. That's kind of what you
that's
lean
to? That's what we want, but also it's hard. It's hard to make that translation happen and to keep the watchers hooked. Like, if they ended up taking the source material for Borderlands and they made 3 to 4 movies, would you go and see all 3 or 4 movies?
No.
Over the span of like 10 years? No. You're going to be like, after the first 2, you're going to be like, all right, this was all good and all, but kind of let's give it a rest. So I understand why they're trying to do it. Just, I don't know, I guess do a better job at it, which is why, sidebar, I'm very hesitant, even though it's apparently gotten the green light. I'm very hesitant about God of War. Because how? Yeah. How do you do it? Where does it pick up from? Allegedly,
I mean, it goes back to my original statement that God of War was written as a video game. We're just transforming it to another medium because some people don't play video games. It's this, they want to tell that amazing story in a movie way. The problem is that story is meant to be digested as a video game. That story does things with father and son relationship that interweave with the video game mechanics that are so important for the storytelling that it can't translate into a movie. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. And God of War you should have never brought up, because I'll go on a tangent all day about that game and how it transcends storytelling that you could find in other mediums. But I don't know. That's how I feel about that.
One last thing. God of War, looking forward to, hope they do it right. I think in order for it to be successful, in Borderlands case too, to stay on topic, they need to kind of pick from the bubble that HBO Max used with The Last of Us. They knocked it out of the absolute. Like, I'm talking Barry Bonds before and after steroids. They knocked it out of the park, and you know that because I'm very passionate about The Last of Us, and it captured everyone, because the big important statement from you is to get people who don't play video games to watch. So looking forward to the Borderlands series. Hopefully they can do a good job with it.
Okay, but you can't talk about The Last of Us now without letting me respond to that, and then we'll move on to Helldivers. And I'll keep it quick. I'll keep it brief. The Last of Us is a series. You just said you wouldn't watch the Borderlands quadrilogy. Is that what you call 4 movies? I don't know. Trilogy, whatever. If they did it in 4 movies, you wouldn't watch it. But you would watch a series of The Last of Us. So that's kind of, contradicting the statement you're trying to make earlier. I'm just saying, like, The Last of Us worked because it was a series. It was very long. It told the whole story. It needed to be 8+ hours long in order to work. And that's all. And like you said, they had the original writers. Neil Druckmann was basically showrunner on that. Like, he wasn't the showrunner, but he was, sort of thing. So that's it. Are you ready to move on to Helldivers 2?
Let's do it.
All right. So before we talk about the controversy surrounding Helldivers 2, I just want to preface this by saying Helldivers 2 is a fantastic game. They are trying to make it more difficult to, or this was
more profitable.
That's a much better word. More profitable. They're trying to make it more profitable. And, Sony has been very transparent, and this is a developing story. We are recording this on May the 6th, and Sony has responded to this controversy today. So let's just kind of keep that in mind. But before we get into the actual controversy surrounding Helldivers 2, I just wanted to say the game itself, I've played it for probably 10, 15 hours. So nothing close to what some other people have put into it, but it is a fantastic game. It is a beautiful example of how to make people cooperate, and the $40 price point is perfect, and the sort of overarching meta game is so different and fresh, and it's a very good game. Having said all of that, there's
Talk
some
to me. Preach it.
There's some controversy with Helldivers 2 that, as I said, developing story has just been addressed and fleshed out by Sony. But before that broke, this is what was going on. According to GamesRadar.com, Helldivers 2 has been pulled from Steam in 170 countries without PSN access, while Valve ignores its own policy to issue refunds for players with over 100 hours. So, as we know, if you play a game on Steam for longer than 2 hours, you cannot get a refund. What's going on? The Helldivers 2 debacle, and this is a quote from GamesRadar, quote, "The Helldivers 2 debacle has reached new hellish lows as the year's best-selling game is now unavailable on Steam in over 170 countries. Earlier this week, publisher Sony announced that all Helldivers 2 PC players would soon need to link an active PlayStation Network account or lose access to the game. A mandate that was once a simple option at launch and has since led to thousands of negative user reviews. It basically got review bombed, hitting the once widely popular shooter. A Helldivers 2 community manager just the other day assured that people in countries without PSN coverage could continue playing, but if you do have PSN coverage, you need a PlayStation Network account. How do you get a PlayStation Network account? You need to have a PlayStation. Exactly. You got to find a friend that has a PlayStation and have him make an account for you. This is a big mess. The game got review bombed. Again, I was quoting GamesRadar.com, their article that was published on May the 5th. Now, May the 6th, quick update here. PlayStation tweeted this out today, the day that we recorded this. Developing story, as I've said for the 15th time now. Helldivers, this is a quote from PlayStation, quote, "Helldivers fans, we've heard your feedback on the Helldivers 2 account linking update. The May 6th update which would have required Steam and PlayStation Network account linking for new players and for current players beginning May 30th, will not be moving forward. We're still learning what is best for PC players, and your feedback has been invaluable. Thanks again for your continued support of Helldivers 2, and we'll keep you updated on future plans. End quote. Talk to me, Adonis.
Is this family? Is this like family, like oriented? Is this PG?
Keep it PG-13, I would say.
Okay, because you know what I really want to say, but I'm not going to. To hell with them. That's the best way to put it. To hell with them.
But that's a pun, so that's even better. Helldivers, to hell with them. I like that better. Go on.
Oh, that is actually pretty good. But no, like, wake your ass up. Okay? Get out of bed. Wake your ass up. Put your glasses on. Get your phone off the nightstand. And what I mean by that is there was such an outpouring of negative. Yes, like, this needs to happen. Go to hell. Because it's so for profit, it's ridiculous. They tried to slide that under the rug. Oh, man. Hey, You can't get on without a PSN account. I have a PC for a reason. What do you mean? And they knew this. Oh, your PlayStation played it right. Oh, your opinion is so valued and will continue to. All right. All right. We caught you. Butt naked, red-handed, with the brick in your hand. You're the one who broke the window. This is exactly what needs to happen. Absolute slow clap congratulations to the community out there. You guys on PC. Because otherwise, if there's not an outpouring of negative reviews as what we saw, this would go under the radar. This would happen. So this is great. What was it? 263,000 bad reviews on Steam. Yes. Hold them accountable. Wake your ass up out of the bed, answer your phone, put out a statement, and now this plan will not be moving forward. Great job, Helldiver players on PC.
See, and we all have our criticisms, and I am very outspoken about this, about the internet and social media and how it damages, people's lives and brains and attention spans, blah, 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 blah. But this is something good that's come out of social media, the internet, the more interconnectedness between, first of all, you wouldn't have an online game without the internet, but in the evolution that we're seeing with the Steam store and review bombing, and, you used to have to boycott games or boycott media to get people to change. And then that change doesn't take place till years into the future. You know what I mean? This is something with the review bombing, and that kind of annoys me. But in this context, I think that I 100% agree with you, and I think that this was the correct course of action. You review bomb the best-selling game on Steam, or one of the best-selling games on Steam, and people that it's the first thing that pops up on the Steam store, and it has 2 stars on your store. Steam's not going to go for that. PlayStation as a publisher is not going to go for that. They got to fix it, and that's like the good part of having a strong, and the Helldivers 2 community is a strong community. They love this game. And a big, big, big part of the Helldivers 2 community is that PC subsection of it. Huge part of the Helldivers 2 community. And I will push back a little bit here, and I will say this. This is new for Sony. They've had other games before the PS5 generation, PS4 generation. They have published other games on PC, but for the most part, a game like Helldivers 2, if it came out in the PS3, PS4 era, it is going to be a console exclusive. So, and I already know what you're going to say. You're shaking your head. They want to double dip. It's just for Sony.
That's exactly
to make extra
what
money.
They're doing.
I know. But I'm just saying it is still new. They need to expand their reach as far as who is employed to deal with PC players, because that is separate thing from the PlayStation community, and they need to get better about it.
Do you know how many people are sitting in those boardrooms with their shirt tucked in?
At least they're acknowledging it. That's all I'm saying.
And that's a win. That's a win. At least they can acknowledge it. That's good. That's a win.
Go on.
They called
their shirt tucked in.
I'm just saying, do you a lot of people, and to what you were saying about, this is new territory for them. They got probably 15 middle-aged women and men who sit in these boardrooms, who sit in these meeting rooms with their shirt tucked in, their loafers on, maybe fedoras because that's fashionable. But they know, like, when this idea got slid across the table and they put this on their PowerPoint presentation and they said, listen, this is how we want to, they knew. We just pushed back. They did not expect that.
Before the game came out, too, I bet you this was like part of their plan.
You know it was.
Yeah.
You know it. Yeah. And they probably wanted to do it at launch, like you said.
Right.
They got caught, man. No sympathy. No sympathy.
No sympathy, but we do have, and I think, I don't want to speak for you, but I do think we both feel the same. At least they did accept it. Hey, we pushed back. The Sonic the Hedgehog. That Sonic was a monstrosity. We hear you.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah, right? We're going to push back. I mean, we're not going to push back. We're going to change it. We're going to eat crow, and we're going to change everything because we don't want to deal with the bad PR. Yes, it's selfishly motivated. Yes, they just want to sell more copies of Helldivers 2. But, I mean, it is a business at the end of the day. At least they made the correct decision and gave the Helldivers 2 community their control, right? That's how I feel.
Well, it was either, and I'm not going to make it seem like I'm upset about it or I'm mad about it.
Well, you would. If you played Helldivers 2, you would. You would.
I would be. But
you'd be,
I'm happy the community pushed back. I'm happy PlayStation gave the community what they wanted. But I think it was the only route, Anthony. Because what? Yeah. You stick to your guns and lose how many players?
Yeah, the game dies. The game literally dies if that happens. Yeah, you're right.
They had to do it.
That's fair. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, they had to do it. Not really much of a decision to be made. So I will concede that, and we can move on if you're ready.
Let's get it, baby.
Let's do it. Big congratulations to the Helldivers community for taking care of business there. Another Crab's Treasure. Finally.
Yeah, you got a problem.
Oh, I'm sick. I'm sick.
Souls-like game.
Finally.
Souls-like game.
Yes, I do have an addiction to Souls-like games, but they have to be creative and they have to be innovative. There are games that I have straight up passed on, like Steel Rising and Thymesia, where I played them and I was like, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It doesn't feel fresh enough. God. If you want to be a Souls-like game, you got to do something different. And you know what? From Dark Souls 1, from Demon Souls, I played that game in 2009, and the first thing I said was, they need to turn this into a Sebastian from the Little Mermaid nautical theme.
You have a problem, man. It's like new drugs on the street. You're like,
SpongeBob,
this one's not good enough.
SpongeBob themed game. This is what we need. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, I didn't see this coming. Nobody did until shout out Iron Pineapple. He plays more Souls games than anyone. And I remember seeing this come up on his channel when this game was a demo or early access or something. And he played it. He said he liked it, and I was intrigued. I didn't think I was going to get it on day one, and then the reviews started popping off for this game, and it was getting 8s and 9s. Like, this game yeah, man. I'm not the only one that respects Another Crab's Treasure. Another Crab's Treasure, for those of you who are unaware, like I said, you're basically Sebastian from The Little Mermaid, and you lose your shell, and you go on a treasure hunting adventure where you're looking for trash that is the what word am I looking for? Currency, excuse me. Trash is the currency in this underwater world. There's some, messages about pollution. I'm only about 2 hours in, so I'm not quite far enough to give my review, but that's the gist. That's the inciting incident there. You lose your shell, you go underwater, and you got to pay taxes to get your shell back, basically, in the form of trash. Underwater physics inspired by SpongeBob. That is something the developers have said themselves. The hook with Another Crab's Treasure is, instead of having a bunch of different weapons, you just have like this escargot type fork. I don't know if you've ever had one of those little baby or muscle fork, one of those, where you just have like a two-pronged fork that you have one of those forks. That's your main weapon. And you pick up different things throughout the world and use them as replacement shells. It could be a tin can. It could be a bottle cap. It could be a soda can.
Okay,
and they all have different abilities. They all have different
You're selling me
defense
on this.
mechanisms.
You're doing a great job.
I'm not
really
selling
cool.
you on it. They sold themselves on it. It is so well done. I'm going to let you talk about it because you haven't played this. You don't know anything about it. So I just want to hear your first impression of it. Just looking at some gameplay that I kind of linked before we started recording. How do you feel about Another Crab's Treasure? And it sounds like I'm starting to sell you on it. I don't want to have to explain my addiction anymore. Go ahead.
The idea captures you first. The gameplay gets you there. It's super fun. Looks like you could just pour hours into the game and still be just as excited at hour 1 as you are at like hour 70. The idea of having replacement shells of things that you can pick up on the way, great. It might seem small and minute, great idea, because the options are endless. You could just do so much with it. I don't have much to say because I haven't played it, but looking at the gameplay as somebody being on the outside looking in, I would 100% check this game out.
So then why are you making me feel so guilty about playing all these Souls games?
Because when you mention a Souls-like game, Anthony, and you don't say nothing, I'm like, you got a problem. There's a new drug on the street, and it's giving you a new high. That's all I'm saying. It just so happens
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It just so happens that this new drug don't seem half bad.
Yeah, right.
This is fine.
Right.
This is fine. This is
right.
Cool. Lies of P, you never gonna get me on board with that.
Okay, that's
cool.
No, that's another conversation for another game. They nailed it. You're just trying to get a rise out of me.
Of
I know
course
you
I
are.
am. That's what I live for.
I know you.
But this looks fun. You said you're about 3 hours in?
Something like that, yeah. Beat the first couple bosses. Yeah.
I think this, games like this are kind of what make gaming fun.
Right. And it is fun. It is fun. I do need to mention this. Another Crab's Treasure is so freaking funny. It is so funny. Like, just some inside jokes where it nods at other games, specifically Souls games, Sekiro and stuff like that. But there's just humor in like I didn't even see this. I'm looking at gameplay, and one of the things that you come across that I totally missed this, and I'm watching a video and I'm seeing it. It's a popsicle stick stuck in the sand, and it's one of those popsicle sticks that have a joke on it with the punchline on the other side of the popsicle stick. Awesome. And it's written. The whole joke is written out, and it's funny, and just stuff like that. It's just really clever, and the enemies are clever. It's very refreshing. The combat is, it's not gonna change the genre or anything like that. The shell concept is cool, and it keeps the game fresh and keeps it interesting throughout, as far as I've experienced anyway. There's like 69 shells, which is another dumb joke right there, but there's 69 shells. I've unlocked maybe 7 of them, so I'm excited to see. There's like a bridge right here, and the bridge is someone's flip-flop, stuff like that. It's just
that's
funny.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it so much that I went back and bought the developer's previous game on PlayStation, which is called Going Under. The developer is something Crab. Angry Crab, something like that. Oh, what's the developer's name? Anyway, talk to me about this while I figure that out, because I want to shout them out.
I think it's always important, because without these gaming studios, we wouldn't get these fun games, and they do a great job, because in an era that we live in where there are a whole lot of misses, these hits are very important.
Right. Aggro Crab. Thank you for keeping the ball in the air, by the way. It is important, though. Aggro Crab is the name of the developer. So I was so curious about this game that I decided to check out. Going Under is another game they made. It was on sale for $5, and I picked it up just to dabble, just to see what was going on. And Going Under is a roguelike where you are an intern at a soda company. It's a soda meal replacement company. The soda is a meal replacement. Is the joke? Yeah, it's a funny. It's another humorous game. And anyway, you go into the basement of this building, and there's all these failed startups that you have to fight underneath. Like there's one is called Styx Coin, and it's like a Bitcoin failed startup, but they're everybody's like the River of Styx, everybody's skeletons and undead. There's another one where it's called Joblin, and everybody's a goblin, and you have to fight them, and just really humorous, really funny, and fresh. And you know, I don't know if I'm gonna beat it. There's a lot on my backlog right now, but it was worth the $5 already just to check it out and for the humor alone. And a really clever touch is the soda can in Another Crab's Treasure is the same fizzle soda can from their previous game. I thought that was so cool. Just like
They
something
added that
that,
in.
yeah, you'd only get if you played their last game, and it's mainly for them, probably, you know. But it's just a really cool touch. Stuff like that. And
I
I'm
like
nowhere
that.
near done with this, and nothing has really gone stale on me yet. The comedy hasn't gone stale. I don't think it will. It seems like they're adding new stuff at a pretty good pace. It's paced out pretty nicely. I just got I didn't just get it, but very early on you unlock a grappling hook. It changes and the animation's actually really cool for the grappling hook. And this isn't a spoiler because it's like within the first hour, but it changes the whole dynamic of exploration in the game. And it's just, you know, things like that you can't really put your finger on as far as the pacing of it, but when you get it right, you know that they got it right, and they're doing that. I think it's a hit too, from what I've seen. It's got, you know, critics like it, but I'm pretty sure that it's got a lot of downloads, and it's been purchased a fair amount of times. I'm trying to find numbers for you right now. It's kind of hard to find that when a game first comes out.
Yeah,
But
it's gonna always be. I mean, they're moving in the right direction. That's what's important, and
but
it's
yeah,
fun.
and it's a $30 price point, and it's on what's it called, Xbox Game Pass. So you can get it on Game Pass. I paid $30 for it, and it was worth every penny so far. But
I think there's something to be said for originality and
100%.
brand new fresh ideas. I think
Yeah.
in this era of gaming, with so many people going, all right, the age preference that we want to stick around, we have to just start pulling all these old games and remaking them.
Right.
There's an invaluable sense to fresh ideas for those guys that
Yeah.
are taking the chances, that aren't, partnering with big gaming studios. Not that there's anything wrong with big gaming studios having fresh ideas, they just don't have them often. But with these smaller studios having these fresh, it's just invaluable, man.
It's a challenging game too. I want to throw that out there. Like the first big boss, I struggled with. Not the first boss, but the first kind of, like big. This clearly, a story changing boss. That was hard. I'm not gonna say what it was because I don't want to spoil it, but it was a challenge. They let you spawn right in front of the boss, which I thought was cool. Save some time. But yeah, it's a gem. And Another Crab's Treasure, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Very clever, because the whole
That's real
game revolves
clever.
around trash, and there's pollution themes.
That's super clever.
Yeah, very clever. It's nothing but good things to say about this game so far. And maybe I'll report back next time and take a complete 180. But I don't see that being the case. This game has so far just nailed everything it's trying to do, and it's done it so well. So yeah, I like to shout out an indie game toward the end of the podcast, before our headliner, because it's important, like Adonis said, to give credit where credit is due for these smaller studios. They make a huge difference because they very often have to push the envelope to stay relevant. You can't make a copy and paste type game, or it's gonna get lost in the crowd. So it's really important to have developers like these that just hold on one second. Oh my god.
Freaking the fuck
That's
out.
crazy. Talk to Gigi. She knows more than I do. She's going for a promotion right now. Kelly is, and they're trying to get her to stay on her team right now. And she's like, I need a bag. That's the only way I'm staying on this team is if you pay me more.
Yeah,
So she's
but they
freaking
knew
out.
That was coming.
What?
I mean, they had to have known that was coming. Like, you got to know your worth.
Right. No, but you don't understand. They deal with like $1 billion contracts, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And we're just trying to get her a little bit more. I'm gonna be a starving artist, man. We need all the money we can get. She said we're moving to California and my salary is not gonna cut it over there, and they're trying to get that. That's crazy, Kelly. That's a huge compliment to you.
Pravant was like, I don't want to disrespect you and be like, please, like, how do I get you to stay? But like,
right.
Also, like, how do I get you to
That's
stay?
part of being in corporate America. You know that, right?
They would have never fucking talked
No, they
to me.
wouldn't have done that if you didn't go for this job.
I'm like,
You're genius.
shit.
You're playing them when
I
they
wasn't
play
playing
you.
them. I
No,
played
you
them.
played them, Kelly, by accident. You didn't do it on purpose.
You didn't even know you did it.
No, Kelly, it's cutthroat out there in
But
corporate
I'm not
America.
cutthroat.
I worked
I
in.
feel like this is my dad being like, fucking bitch, ask for what you deserve.
Mm-hmm. That could be. And I have this gut feeling that you like
I
the team you're on.
I do.
Bro, so you're either way we're getting more money, and that's what we need because I'm gonna be fucking broke. I'm not gonna have a job. We need your salary to be 2 salaries.
Freaking the fuck out.
Don't freak out, it's good.
No, I'm like,
All right. Well, you interrupted our recording
sorry,
to
but
tell
that
me
was
that. But
worth
it was worth
interrupting. I'm
interrupting.
sorry.
You don't have to apologize to me at least.
I wasn't apologizing to you. I don't
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Adonis.
Oh, it's all good. That's great news.
Okay.
He said that's great news and he's very proud of you.
Thank you.
He didn't say that, but he did say it's great news. All right, bye.
All right, bye, dude.
All
That's
right.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Get that money.
Sugar mama all the way. Thank God.
100%. You better
Yeah.
walk around in a fucking Speedo with shades on. I mean,
You know what's
got-
crazy, man? You know what's crazy? Our fucking dated sort of way of thinking where I have people, and it's mostly, older people. They're like, "Are you like upset that your fiance makes
That's
more than you?" I'm like,
crazy as fuck.
You.
It's
No,
crazy.
I'm upset she's not getting paid more because she deserves more. If she triples my salary, I would welcome it. That's more money for her. That's more money for us. Why would I be
it's
mad
crazy.
about that?
Well, not
That's
only
so
that,
dated.
it's you're right and wrong. So it is dated, but it's not dated to the fact of people that are insecure in their relationships.
Yeah, but we've been together for 12 years. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But
Like,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. The insecurity.
I've been the breadwinner. She's been the breadwinner.
And that's cool.
It goes both ways. Yeah, exactly.
And you understand it. You love each
Yeah.
other. You can go forward with it. The people that are insecure in their relationships, which this ain't
Well,
the Dr. Phil moment, but you know what I mean.
They're doomed from the start then,
Doomed.
in my opinion. And on top of that, I don't think my mom and my dad were a perfect example of this because they got divorced when I was 10. My dad was the only real breadwinner. When you have one person that's in charge of all the finances in the relationship,
It's
that
lopsided.
relationship is
It's
doomed.
lopsided.
It's
Yeah.
doomed, and it's just not a good dynamic.
That's
in
why
my
I
opinion.
hate. That's why I hate seeing the go 50-50 on the bills and all that. I'm like, you people are fostering this insane and unrealistic idea of living
Right.
your lives.
Right.
It's just stupid.
Right.
It's dumb.
Anyway, so I think I was transitioning into Shadow of the Erdtree, but
And I'm ready for you to. You can.
yeah,
my body's
I'm so
ready.
excited.
I got
I'm
the
so
honey
excited
out.
for this game.
I got the hot pokers out. You can
Oh,
just go ahead and
God.
talk
Okay.
as nasty as you want right now about Shadow of the Erdtree. You don't understand how ready my body is for that game. That
Dude, I am
DLC,
too. That's why there was stuff I wanted to talk about today that I specifically left off the table because we got to dive deep in this.
It's been a long time, Anthony.
I'm not.
I need this DLC so bad, man. God, I need this TLC so bad.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
I need some
All right.
purpose in my life.
Let's reel this in. Come on. Let me get this transition out of the way. All right. So yeah, another Crab's Treasure. We're excited. We're excited for another Crab's Treasure, but we are even more excited for this is the headliner of this podcast episode, Shadow of the Erdtree. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know what Shadow of the Erdtree is, it is the quote first and last expansion for Elden Ring, the biggest game of the decade last year. Or 2 years ago. Excuse me. God, we're in 2024. This is nuts. Anyway, Shadow of the Erdtree trailer came out in, I want to say March, I think it was. Maybe end of February, somewhere in that radius. February 21st, 2024. The trailer premiered. There we go. Everybody lost their mind. Everybody lost their mind. We have a little bit of an update right here. This is from Kotaku.com, and it is a quote from... It's from Miyazaki. I was trying to see if it was from Miyazaki or somebody else, but no, it's from Miyazaki. And he says, Shadow of the Erdtree will be Elden Ring's first and last expansion. This is it. Elden Ring 2 is not off the table, but this is the only expansion that we're going to get for this game. And why is that important? I'm going to just say why I think it is, and then I'll turn it over to you, Adonis, because he's foaming at the mouth. He wants to talk about this.
Yeah, you know what they do.
I know you do, but let me just get this out of my system, and then the mic is yours. So, what does that mean, first and last expansion? Obviously, it means there's only going to be one expansion, but I was thinking about this. One expansion, why are they saying, why? Oh, there's not going to be another expansion?
You better tell them why.
I'm going to tell you why right now. It's because this is a $40 expansion, by the way. It is a $40 expansion.
Take it.
They could take $80 as far as I'm concerned. That's how good Elden Ring is. Yeah. So, why is this the first and last expansion? The and last part is what I want to talk about. This expansion is, in my opinion, going to be so big.
Say it.
That they're like, we're not doing this again. This thing was a ton of work. This is it. This is all you're going to get. This is basically an entire sequel's worth of content in an expansion. That's why they decided to charge $40 for it. That's why they said, this is it. We're not going to make another one. Because in my opinion, they know that it would be way too much work, and they want to get started on Elden Ring 2 or whatever other IP they're going to be working on. And they know that this game is meaty. In short, that's what it tells me. One expansion, this is going to be a huge expansion. It's going to be meaty. It's going to be something you can sink your teeth into and play for almost as long as the original Elden Ring. That's my guess. It's an educated guess, but Adonis, how do you feel about that? What does the $40 price point and the singular expansion say to you?
This game, what's in the trailer? Pure and radiant, he wields the love to shrive clean the hearts of men. It's what we want, it's what we need, is what we're gonna get. Price point, who really gives a damn? And the reason why I feel this way, you feel this way, and probably a few other 100,000 gamers feel this way is because FromSoft has always put out a quality product to justify price. They have never skimped us. They've never done us wrong. They've only put out the best of the best, and I expect it, and this DLC will probably go beyond my expectations. I mean, like you said, it's going to be meaty. The Elden Ring game itself was very meaty, but the big part, and the part that you kind of slid over, is that they're also going to be working on their next title. I'm fine with it. Give me whatever it is you're working on. Come on.
I got to say something, and I'm going to let you continue, but I got to say something and push back a little bit. The $40 price point is not something to be taken lightly. I think it's a much bigger deal than you're making it out to be. Not in the sense that, oh, I'm afraid to pay $40 for this. They got my money. I didn't pre-order it, but it's coming out. You know, it's coming out. They're getting that $40 day one. The $40 is a big deal because it means that the publisher and the developer both agree that this is a big expansion. Think about it this way. If they charged $15 for the expansion, would you be worried that it's just a couple of bosses? And
I sure would. It wouldn't even be a couple. It'd probably be one boss and maybe a new era to explore.
That's all I'm saying. When you see that $40 price tag, it kind of gets you... I'm trying to keep this PG-13, but it kind of gets you excited in all the right ways.
Gets you
know what I mean?
Yeah, it gets you real hot.
I wasn't going to say that, but yes, I agree. When you see $40, you're like, I don't know what it's going to be, but I know that they believe it is worth $40.
And if they believe it,
right?
come on,
Right.
man.
And I don't think that they are making it $40 because they know people are going to spend that, and because they got people. Hold on. Dog barking. And because they got people up against the wall because Elden Ring is so good, I don't think this is them trying to squeeze every last drop out of this IP. I think it really is that massive. Because if they were trying to do that, they would do 3 expansions. If they were trying to do that, they would do 4 expansions. They're not trying to do that. They're trying to make this one massive thing. They clearly think, wow, we can't do this again. This was way more. We got way, not that they're in over their head, but this is a lot of work and we want to move on. This is the first and last expansion. That is a huge deal as far as I'm concerned. And I could not be more excited for this. Predictions, gameplay mechanics, trailer impressions. Talk to me, Adonis, about, no, I want to talk about the gameplay. What do you think, because you're playing Elden Ring right now, what do you think they're going to do to improve on the formula, or are they just going to give us more Elden Ring? Because if they just gave us more Elden Ring, I'd be perfectly fine with that. But what do you think?
Well, I think the developers also know that. Out of the park, man. I think that's the biggest way to describe these games that we've been talking about. They've done their job. They've done their job well. There's really no critique of Elden Ring. There was no critique. If anything, we had months and months and months and months and months of content that we could react to. Radon. We had people breaking controllers, throwing controllers through windows because we couldn't beat Radon. They patched Radon to make him a little easier to beat. But the point is that this game was right where we wanted it to be. There's no reason to change it. If it ain't broke, do not fix it. I think we'll get the exact same thing that we got in the original Elden Ring game with a little more fun. Fun being impossible to beat mechanics.
Sure.
New weapons. I saw that there was a new status effect change. Like, it looked like Blight, but fire. I don't know. I can't really tell. New weapons, new bosses. There looked like a character that looked like Godric, but he had the new status effect change as like a fireball in his hand.
Oh, I see that now. I'm watching the trailer. I tried to be on blackout for this trailer, but then
you can't be.
We had to talk about it, so I haven't.
You can't be
watched.
For this.
I didn't play Elden Ring. I will say that I have not touched Elden Ring since I platinumed it. Little brag. Since I platinumed it in 2022 when it came out, I deleted it and didn't touch it since then. It is going to feel fresh for me. That is the goal. Is that it feels very fresh, almost foreign. Because when did Elden Ring came out? No, February, right? Of 2022.
February.
Yeah. So I haven't played Elden Ring in over 2 years.
And just changed the course of so many different things, man. I mean,
oh man, it's I mean, we could talk about Elden Ring for another hour and a half, so I don't want to even start with that. But I do know this. I do know that there's a Sekiro-like leveling system. It's a separate leveling system from the base game. I don't know how that's going to work as far as bringing your old stats and gear into the expansion. That's one thing I'm a little bit nervous about, and maybe they've already kind of explained this, but I, have tried to not really look too much into the DLC because I want it to be exciting and fresh and new for me. But how is what level are you supposed to be when you transition into the expansion, or does it not even matter because of their new leveling system?
Come on now, Anthony. This is from Soft we're talking about. It's definitely gonna matter. They're not in the business of making anything easy for us or saying, "Hey,
no."
listen.
But I'm saying, does your base level before you go into the DLC matter?
It will. It will indeed matter.
But there's a new leveling system supposedly, like a Sekiro like leveling system. So I don't know. We don't know.
That is interesting.
Oh my god, I'm watching way too much of this trailer now. I really did try to not.
I mean, it's
watch
cool.
The trailer.
I've been watching it. I done watched it 3 times now.
I mean, there's just doing some quick math. There's at least 5 bosses just in the trailer, and they're not going to show everything. So
they're not going to show everything,
dude. This is my prediction. This is a 45+ hour expansion, easy. I really feel like it's going to be like almost the size of not Elden Ring, but almost the size of maybe like a Dark Souls 1.
Like, I don't even know who that dude is. Like the
Yeah.
guy with the double-edged staff with the fireball in his hand. I don't even know who that is.
So, what else do we have to say about this? I mean, we're kind of just going in loops saying how excited we are.
But that's fine, because that's all we want. That's all everybody is just excited. That's all we can be, is excited. Like, obviously you'll have the guys that are into the details that'll dive deep into the new weapons and what they might think they're gonna be, but we don't know nothing. Nobody knows anything. That's the best part about it. All we have to do, keep watching the trailer, be excited, wait for the expansion to drop, and we can all enjoy it together, because we will. The Twitch streamers, the 0.1%ers who have all the subscribers, we're going to watch them. We're going to watch them react. We're going to have the unbeatable bosses that are going to cause people to break controllers again. It's like a holiday for me, man. I can't wait.
Now, I know we did the Game of the Year podcast last year or earlier this year. Is this game allowed? Is a DLC allowed to be in the Game of the Year conversation? Is that
no? I can't.
Are we gonna allow it? No.
Okay. We can't. We can be excited, but we can't take it that far.
Really? Okay.
Okay. So if we're gonna do that, what are the parameters? What is the standard? A game is considered what, 30 plus hours? Would this expansion be that big to the point where it can be considered a game?
Yeah, it's $40.
That's a lot.
It's $40.
Not in terms of price, but in terms of, like you said, what you're gonna get.
But I kind of lean in the same direction as you, where I feel like everybody knows Elden Ring's amazing. We all know that it's, gonna be amazing, and it would just take away from other games and other IPs and other developers if we just gave it another Game of the Year nod just for no reason. Yeah. I don't think it can be game. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's that good where we can't deny it. But
maybe they introduce a category DLC of the year. I don't think there's enough games that are going to be getting DLC in the year. It might just be standalone. I'm
talking about our Game of the Year. I don't care about the Game of the Year. The only Game of the Year that I care about is our game. Are we going to put this in our Game of the Year podcast as a potential Game of the Year?
Jury's still out. Let's see how long.
Jury's still out. Okay.
Let's see how long the DLC is.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, we're ready to play. This is not a very interesting segment, not as interesting as I thought it was going to be, because
it was just what we wanted it to be.
We're just hyped. We're just hyped for this.
And the day draws near, fellow tarnished one. So this is exactly what you're supposed to get from a reaction like this in terms of what we're going to be getting. There's really no way outside of just speculation to know what we're going to get in terms of all the new things we're going to discover in the game. So, I'm just here to just keep watching the trailer, be ready. And we're getting the DLC when?
The 21st.
Of?
The 21st of June.
And
what do you mean of?
I'm just saying I'm just saying I knew.
You knew. You just wanted me to make the announcement for our listeners. I got
well, you. Also to put into perspective how close the day's coming.
Okay. Yeah.
We're right there.
Yeah, we are.
Finish line's almost there, man.
I do have something that I thought of that I can ask you now, and we can kind of dig into this a little bit, because I don't know the answer myself. Are you going to play this like three play sessions and you beat it, or are you going to savor every bite of this DLC? What is your approach going in? Now, it might change when you get in, but what's your approach going in? Take your time or just kind of burn through it?
Well, I feel like people will approach it differently. Since you're asking me, I'll give you my answer. With everything that I've seen in the trailer, knowing how detailed and how detail-oriented the developers and the designers have been with the original game, I'm going to take my gut. Ooh. You see what this game is doing to me? I'm going to take my time. I'm going to enjoy every nook and cranny and piece of this game, because you better believe they're going to put some items. They're going to put some lore-heavy aesthetics into the game that you're gonna want to catch. I'm definitely gonna take my time.
Yeah, That's kind of my approach too. I did that with the original game. I took my time. I saw everything that I could possibly see, but I played the game nonstop. I just smelled the roses without stopping my gameplay session. I basically just explored everything and just kept playing and didn't stop playing. I was waking up at 6 a.m. before work to play this game. Like, I don't do that. I do not do that. And I did it with Elden Ring. The only regret I have about this expansion is that I didn't take work off on the 21st.
You're going to need to for this.
I know. I might have to call out if anybody that works with me is listening to this. I did not call out. I was actually sick. And wink, wink. I got sick. I came down with something.
What did we talk about, right? Like when you played Elden Ring,
yeah,
I knew I told you. I said I can't sit down. I can't touch this game unless I have 5 hours minimum blocked out of my day to enjoy it. 1 hour is not enough. 2 hours, you might get through a building. In 5 hours, you can make some progress. I've never experienced a game like that where minimum for me, and I'm not even exaggerating, 5 hours I needed.
Where do they go from here? You do this expansion, people are gonna love it. I mean, it's just looking at the trailer, looking at some of these bosses, looking at some of these images. It's gonna be a hit. Where do you go from here? Do you do Elden Ring 2?
You take some time off, and by take some time off, I mean about 4 to 5 years. You allow other titles to come out. You allow
other FromSoft titles?
No, other gaming studios. You say, listen, this is such a hit.
Let the hype build back up for
Exactly. We've paid the bills. We've paid the bills.
Right.
The developers, the designer, everybody's been paid. We've far exceeded our expectations. Now let's let the other games come out. Let's, hey, maybe a new system comes out. And then just when they think, oh, FromSoft is done. Oh, FromSoft, drop it on them.
Yeah. Like within the year. Is that what you're saying? Like shadow drop it almost?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love when they do that. I love when games do that. When they announce it and then 6 months later the game comes out. You think they'll do that?
Yeah, they'll take a few years off and go, oh, you thought we were done. Boom, here's the next iteration. Here's the next game we're working on. And we're all just sitting there holding our tongues like...
Yeah, but they didn't do that with Elden Ring. They announced Elden Ring in like 2016 or something.
They did. And I mean, we were just sitting there waiting and waiting.
Excuse me. All right, 2019.
By God, were we blown away.
20, 21, 22, 20. So 4 years later, it came out. Almost 3 years and 8 months or something, because E3 is in the summer. So it was announced 2019 E3. Yeah. I want to know why Elden Ring has a 96 Metacritic score. I want to know who did not give this game a perfect 10.
I mean, can we get addresses too, so I can just talk to him? I just want to let him know why he didn't agree. That's all. I'm not gonna hurt him.
All right, man. I mean, I've said all I need to say. We're just kind of going in circles, talking about how hyped we are for this. Any last second predictions that you want to have? A receipt for, just in case you get it right, or over under how many bosses? Like, is it? It's supposed to be harder than. It's supposed to be just as hard as the second half of Elden Ring. So
that's what I fully expect. I'm ready to rage. I'm keeping myself completely open.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to make any predictions either. I don't want to, I don't want to know. I don't want to know till I get there. That's really how I feel. I just want to play it. I watched too much of the trailer just right now as it is, and I just scrubbed through it. I wasn't trying to watch the whole thing, but this is going to be an event. And I think this is the one prediction I will make, okay? This is the prediction I'm going to make. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree will be the best-selling game of 2024. That's the bold prediction I'm going to make.
Wow.
We talked about how Hogwarts Legacy was 2023's best-selling game. This is going to break. I might not sell more than that because that's a $60, $70 game, but it will be the best-selling game of 2024. That's my prediction. That's my bold prediction. So,
I like it.
Yeah, we'll leave you guys with that, and we'll be back at it next week. And until then, just keep it here for more Elden Ring hype videos.
We back, baby. So please,
We're back.
Next week, you be ready for the next thing. You be
Oh,
ready
I'm
for the
ready.
next thing and ready for the same thing.
I'm ready. Let's do it, Adonis.
Let's
All right,
get
take care, guys.
All right, bye.